Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along where we're creating a dictionary of stitches A to Z. We're up to letter W and we're doing a wool rose today. So we will be using tapestry wool, which is a thicker type of wool similar to what you might be used to for knitting. It is different to a crewel wool, which is a thinner one. So I've used a crewel wool to stitch the name and then I'll be using the thicker tapestry wool. If you don't have tapestry wool, you could probably just use some old knitting wool as well would work. So I'm going to do my rose over here and I'll start where I want the center of the rose, the bottom of the center of the rose to be. So I'll start there, I'll come across directly across from it and then I'll angle my needle back so that it comes out just a tiny bit above where my first stitch was. So it's going back across the fabric on an angle. So it goes straight there and then we're just going to keep working our way across, doing the same thing, so always angling it to just above where the previous stitch was. So we need to do 5 rows that same way. Just angling it a little bit. So that's our 3rd row. I hope you're doing well today. And in the book they make it a sort of a perfect square. I don't think it matters if it's a slightly less than even square. That's 4. And then our 5th one. And so for our 5th row, we are going to take it to the back over here. So in fact, we're not going to angle our needle across because we want that row just to lay down. So we've got 5 rows here. And so now we're going to complete the center square by bringing the needle up at the top left. Through the same hole that we came out at the start. I mean, not at the start, at the end, but the last cross stitch. And then we're going to take the needle to the back over here, just slightly down. And then we're going to bring the needle. That's probably gone a tiny bit on an angle, but I think it'll still be okay. And then we're going to bring the needle up through the next hole. And so you're not wanting to pull it too tight. It should just be sitting just snugly against. So you're basically laying 5 rows now down back over your initial work. Coming out the same holes. And laying those 5 stitches down. Sometimes I think the book makes it more complicated rather than just saying repeat the procedure in the reverse direction. Oh, it's giving a nice rounded shape. I was worried it would look a bit squarey because in the book it certainly looks very squarey, or maybe because I do a less even laying down. Now that second last row, I think I just pulled a tiny bit too tight, so I'm just going to loosen it again with the end of my needle. I think that looks really good. And so we're now at the back. And so now that's our padded square is what they call it, but mine's got a nice little bit of a curvature to it. So we're now going to change to a lighter shade. So you've also got a padded square at the back, which I'll just use to tie my knot underneath. Let's just get this tied. Alex has gone out to buy an outdoor umbrella for our big table because in the crazy winds the other day it actually snapped at the top. Some of the the spokes on it. It was very old. We're at the point where Alex was thinking he was going to replace it, but it made that decision for us. So I've got this lighter shade. So we're going to knot it at the end. And we're going to bring it up to the centre, just to the left of the bottom centre. Okay, and then we're going to take the needle to the back up at approximately, looks like about the centre point as well. So we're putting a little, I guess, diagonal across our square. So across that bottom corner, we're putting a little diagonal stitch in. And then we're going to re-emerge just to the right of, so we're going to re-emerge just here to the right of the first stitch that we did. And then we're going to take, oops, and I've pulled a bit of thread through, we'll get rid of that. And then we're going to go a bit further up, so we're doing an overlap of that first diagonal stitch. So I guess if you think of a petals sort of twisting around, and then take the needle to the front, just to the right again, so we're going just to the right of those first two stitches, and then bringing it just a bit further up, so you're getting just a nice little wrapping effect. And so you just, it says settle the final stitch to snugly curve the outer edge of the petal, and so that's one set of petals finished. And then we're going to rotate the fabric so that it's this way, and we're going to bring our needle up just, it looks like it's just overlapping with that first set of petals. Let me just make sure I'm going to stay on. I think I need to be a tiny bit closer to, so I'm just coming up just near where that first set of petals were. And then again, I'll go up about the same distance, I think. And then come to the right. And so just going a tiny bit to the right and a tiny bit up higher each time, just like we did on the first round. So again, let this one just lay nice and snug, and try not to get a piece of green into the design. Great. And now where are we turning ourselves now? Now we're going to do our third petal. And so it does say in the book you can make a little bud like that, which would work well indeed. And then we're just going to do the same process here. I kind of get the idea of what the book's saying now, so I won't need to look as closely at the instructions for now, because we're going to complete this 4 times around the petal, so we get the 4 petally bits. Probably should have been a tiny bit more across there. I'll actually just redo that first stitch, and then I'll just insert it in there. And oops, I think I'm coming through where there must be already a stitch in place. I'll just move slightly to the right. It shouldn't feel that hard. There we go. That is our little ribbon rose, and I imagine you could continue around and put even some more petals around it, because to me that looks, I mean, it certainly looks like what they've got in the book. So we could call it sort of clips on that, because it definitely looks like that. But I'm just wondering if it'd be nice with maybe another round around it. So let me just have a look if I've got some other thread. Here's where I'm going off piste. as they say. Well, I don't think anyone actually says that, but anyway, maybe skiing people do. But so what have we got here? It's a tapestry wool. It looks a bit thinner again. Will it work to have that? I think we'll give it a go. Let's give it a go. Let's live on the edge. Did say we're meant to have lighter colours on the outside, but I don't think I've necessarily got any other. Interesting, I don't seem to have as many of the pinkies in. I've got lots of it in the crewel wool, but not in this wool, this tapestry wool. Probably got some in the cupboard actually. I've got a whole lot of tapestry wools in there. Will I be able to thread the needle? That's the next big question, folks. That is the question. Filming this on Sunday afternoon. Travis is very patiently and calmly sitting outside the room waiting for Mum to finish filming. I was hoping Alex might get back and we could take him. So I might do these ones then. I'll do them on the cross angle. So I'll come up just so I'm sort of between where the previous round was so that they kind of overlap. But I'll do the same process as though I'm going across the diagonal. And I might just make these ones a little bit looser possibly, just to kind of give them a bit more of that rosy petally effect. Just want to keep them a tiny, but it's a nice because it's got a bit of variegation in this wool. I'm actually wondering if I can actually go all the way around with this sort of rotating petaling. Shall I go totally rogue? Should I actually now start doing a different sort of approach altogether? Will I get in trouble for that, do you reckon, from the A to Z of embroidery and stitchery police? Will they say, no, you didn't follow our instructions? I don't think so. They're not sponsoring these videos, so it's A-okay. I got my book secondhand with my own money. So I'm going to just work my way around. Worst case, if it looks absolutely shocking, we can pretend this didn't happen. But if it looks good, then at least it's given you an extra little technique. An experimental technique. Oh, I do like it. It's giving it a bit of body around it. So it's just looking a bit flat for a rose to me. Well, not flat. I mean, it's sitting up from the piece, but it just didn't have that sort of petally effect that I wanted. I think I'm used to the sort of the ribbon roses where you get those lovely soft, swishy dimension. I think we do have another ribbon rose coming up actually. A wound rose possibly, can't remember. Yep, I think I like this. I like that it's sitting up a bit from the fabric. Okay, we'll call this Christine's Wool Rose now because I think I have gone totally rogue. And I actually like that it's that pinky colour like the centre, but a bit different. So it almost looks like those inner petals are in sort of in the shade a bit more and sitting in the interior. Oh, sorry, just bumped the camera a smidgeroo. Apologies for that, folks. Oops, pulled that one a bit too tight too. Loosen it up a bit. I was just watching Rachel's Christmas video, making beautiful little fabric trees with trims. So many wonderful Christmas ideas to be practiced. And take that one a smidge round further. carefully thread my needle if at all possible. Try and just use what I've got. Oops, I can feel them coming through the wool on the back. It's just a tiny bit harder to pull, but I'm not wanting to pull tight because I don't want to lose my beautiful soft sort of softly sitting petals. Where's that one? Got to go there. I'm just going to pull that last petal and the second last one just to give them a bit more fluff. And then I might just do one more, I think. It's coming around to there. And maybe one more. That one was probably a tiny bit too short. I probably should have gone across to the next little bit. Let's see if I can just extract that one. Let's just take it a tiny bit further around. This is the point where I won't be able to thread the needle, isn't it, folks? And you'll be like, why didn't you just leave that stitch where it was? Now you're making us watch you thread needles. Ah, well. Okay, much happy with that last one. Just give them a nice little loosen up. I think, yeah, I was doing them more densely as I went around that side, but I don't mind that at all. So that is our wool ribbon rose with my improvisation at the end, but I think that's given it a lovely effect. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for a wound rose. So I think I'll do my wound rose down here because I've got this lovely tapestry fabric, and I'll see you then. And that's using ribbon, silk ribbon. Bye everyone.